Right, mate. I just thought I'd do a little quick video for you again. Much quicker one, hopefully this time around. But just to give you an idea of what I was talking about before, that little island. So this is Herbivore Island, I think it's known as. It's straight over from where we were. I'll get my little telescope out, see if I can see our base. Our base is around here somewhere. It's around that way, basically. We've essentially come straight across this little island I was talking about, and it's really, really good for resources. So there isn't a lot you can go. Oh, actually, tell a lie. So I was going to say there's not a lot that can kill you. There's a few things in the water that can kill you, so I would avoid them or avoid going in that as much as possible. At the moment, saying that, I think in this little sort of inlet sort of body of water, there's a lot of these, or you usually find a fair few of these. I can't remember the name of them. They're like sort of giant water bug things. They look like sort of giant cockroach type things, but they're really good for oil, chitin, and I think like pearls, like silica pearls and black pearls, which you'll need a bit later on anyway. You usually see them. They come out at a certain time of day on the beaches, and they'll wander up. They're like really flat, sort of black little bug things walking along. Quite easy to kill, but really good, say, for harvesting. Or you find them at the bottom. You'll find them at the bottom of this little sort of let's say body pool of water type thing. At the moment, I'd say we've got a couple of megalodons over there, so I wouldn't go diving around too much. But aside from that, rest of this island is pretty much free from any predators. So as long as you don't upset the trikes or anything like that, you're usually fine. I've also spawned in the cinema cops from the Lost Island thing. So it's a new new dino they added on the other map. I've added it to our map and I've plonked them on this island and in and around the beach. Now they're a little bit of a bugger. I can't really see one. I'll tell you what, I've got one on me, so I've managed to just tame one. If I throw him off. Right, so this is him here. They're usually bright coloured little things, and they sit on your back. So you pick them up. If I toggle the orbit cam, you'll see here he's sat on my back there like that, which is pretty cool. The real big bonus of these guys is that you can hover or you can sort of fly up. So if you hold down X, you'll be able to sort of fly up and around. Oops, I haven't done that very well at all. Sorry. You can fly up and around, and if you then click R3 at a certain height, you'll also glide a little bit as well. Oh, that's a really awkward camera angle, but basically, yeah, from first person, it allows you to sort of float around a little bit. Again, watch out for that stamina at the top. You can't really see. Oh, it's actually not at the top on this one. That little stamina bar on. So while it's not on the top, it's on the right hand side, but a little bit lower down. You see they've got a little map. Well, it looks like a map. It's not a map. It's a screen. So what these little things do, you can set them to auto scream. They'll scream at like bugs and things like that that come near you and usually attack them. So they're quite a good little defense thing. Obviously just above that is their stamina bar that you're used to. Similar to what I was saying about the Pteranodon and other flyers, their stamina bar will decrease. So as you're floating up like this, the stamina will go down. It won't go down too badly, and actually they're pretty good for it. What I would also say is the X pulls you up, releasing X drops you down quite quickly, but pressing it again ever so slightly just eases you down. If you drop yourself obviously from a great height and you're not in that gliding mode, then you're going to do yourself some damage. But these little things, as I say, they're really, really good to have. It just makes getting around easier. It makes building and doing things easier. There's one there in the wild. If I get my little so there he is there. Oh, there's a lovely coloured one. Now what happens, the way to tame them, I can't actually tame them at the moment, so the way to tame him is you have to go near him. Oh, he's buggered off there because he got scared. So you have to go near them very carefully. They are passive tame, but slightly different to the other tame. So you will hand feed them, and you feed them that chitin, which I don't have any on me at the moment, but are our little mate here will have some. So they eat chitin basically. So if I go into his inventory, this little chitin stuff here that you get from bugs and whatnot, put that in your final bar, and then you basically need to find one of these cinnamon chopped doodahs, go up near them, and just sort of be really, really gentle. They'll eventually spot you. They'll have these little love hearts above their head to show that they're interested. They'll come down, they'll land at your feet, and they'll waddle over to you. So don't spook them. If you go near them too quickly or anything, they spook away, and they're bloody quick. They'll come near you, hit your little triangle for your passive tame if you've got that kite in your final box, and that'll begin the taming process. The taming shouldn't take too long with them, depending on their level. You might have to do it twice, but basically, if you hit on that, so if you go into your inventory, as I say, hit that touchpad a couple of times, see that taming progress bar. Obviously, I've got nothing there at the moment. Once you've fed them that chitin, they'll appear on this. Then you can use the old track all button or track button option at the top there, and you'll be able to track it around this little island. Wait for it to decrease down. It will eat through that chitin quite quickly, so it won't take long before it's hungry again. So as long as you keep it within distance, you keep following it and just wander it around. The good thing about this, putting them in this herbivore island, I did put some on near the beaches near us as well, but the problem is because they're so skittish, they float away and like quite quickly, and they're really difficult to track and whatnot. If you're on an island with, I say there's no predators, that's not, oh no, it's not. If you're somewhere, particularly where we were, or around the corner where there's a lot of predators and things like that, it is going to be a bugger because it's hard to follow them around, wait for them, stand still while they land by you, feed them, and then wait again until they do the same. So this herbivore island is a really good spot to have them in, to keep track. There's not loads of them about, but there's enough. They are tiny little things. They usually move pretty quickly. They look like the little birds that you usually see floating around, but they usually move, as I say, pretty quickly around. But you'll be able to spot them. As I say, if you come to this island, they're pretty much here. I don't think there's too many of them birds around, so anything flying around that isn't a pteranodon or anything will most likely beat them. They're pretty colourful little things. As I say, I've got a little green one there. That little one we spotted earlier was all multicoloured, which was nice. But anyway, the basic thing, so them and this island in general is a good little base camp. It's sort of segregated away from the main islands. Not too difficult to get to. You could fly over. As I say, I think build a little raft and float over is quite good fun. But just to sort of show you on the map, it's I think I showed you yesterday, it's just this little island in the sort of southeast corner. Pretty segregated away from everything. I'll put a little fire there because I need some meat at the moment. I've got nothing. Because I've got nothing to eat. So go. But from a resource point of view, obviously good for stone, trees and things like that. What I'd say is the best thing it's good for is up here, and I'll show you. So while I talked about being able to get some metal from the main rocks, if you go up here, here's a good example, and into this bit here, you'll see these rocks here. They're sort of gold colour. I keep calling them gold. They're basically metal. You get your metal pick out, give it a good dig away, and there you go. You get 23 metal, 37 metal. There's loads of it here. Don't build buildings too close to it because the spawn rates or the regrow rate, so things you chop down will eventually regrow back. Trees, bushes, particularly the little foraging berry bushes, they tend to grow back a lot quicker. But trees will grow back, and interestingly, even stone and metal eventually will. It takes a lot longer to, but eventually they do spawn back. But because of the way I've got everything set up, not too dissimilar to the official for the official servers. If you build your bases or anything like that too close to where you're putting the resources won't spawn back. And the primary reason is you don't want to sort of chop down a load of trees, build a base, and then a few days later or whatever later the trees start spawning your base. It looks a bit stupid. So that's that reason for the respawn distances, if you like. You can change it, but I don't think it's sensible to really. So try not to build anything too close. Over here on the edge or whatever is quite good. Collect your stone, collect your metal. Metal will weigh quite a chunk, so you've got to bear that in mind. But definitely worth it. There's loads of it up here. There's a lot of, let's me little here. So again, an advantage of that little Cinematrop doodah. You can sort of float around a little bit. So yeah, there's loads. You'll see them. There's loads of them dotted around. It's not a huge amount. You'll get a lot more on them bigger mountains and things like that further inland. But for the time being, it's a great little spot for getting those resources. And try and there's the gliding option, so you can sort of glide. It's like a gliding parachute, which glides down quite nicely. Other than that, as I say, there's a lot of herbivores on here, some of whom you'll have already met, some like this little chap, these little anklos, you probably haven't yet. Again, they're herbivores. If you upset them, they will come at you and can do some serious damage with them tails and whatnot. But a really good thing about it, if you can get them tamed, or get one of them tamed at least, get a saddle on him and get him up to them rocks, they'll get you a ton more. Oh, there's a little fella here, look. He's obviously like, oh, he's a nice colour as well. I won't tame any of them because I'll leave them for you, mate. But there's some lovely little, look, that's a little sweet one. There's some lovely coloured ones here, lovely little set of them. But as I say, yeah, if you could get one of these boys tamed and get them up to those rocks, stone and metal, they really churn through. Particularly them metal ones, you'll get tons more than you can get yourself, and you'll be able to get them down. Build a couple of them forges even here. And what you can do is you could even have this as a crafting base just for metal stuff, metal saddles, guns, ammo, whatnot. It's a little bit further out. You could, if you want. I think when I first played it, I think I just collected a load. I collected a load of the metal ingots. I created a base around about here, I think it was, of about, and it included, about 3, 4, or 5 of them stone forges. Fed them a load of spark powder, went up, collected tons of metal, plonked it back in there, and then went from there. I'm really attracting a lot of these. There's another one of them little sinos there. What was I saying? Sorry, yeah, so if you set up a little base there, you could do that, get loads of metal ingots, and then plonk it on a raft and sail it back. The other thing about not flying over and coming over on a raft is that it does allow you to do that. This guy, I mean, he's pretty, I've tamed him and built him up and up and up and up. But by and large, your early flyer, and I do recommend you get one, obviously will probably be one of these pteranodons, which are great. They're pretty quick, they're quite nimble, but their weight is pretty awful, really. You really have to pump levels into their weight to get them anywhere near where you need them to be to carry anything particularly heavy. As we move along and we start taming like things like argents, which are like giant eagle type things, and a couple of other things, they're more your heavy lifters for gathering resources and taking them back and forth. So if you're going through loads of metal ingots, just metal, raw metal, whatever it might be, even wood and things like that weighs a lot, you're not going to get very far with pteranodons. They're more like your scouting flyers, I'd say, more than anything. It's another one of them little doodahs. Again, see, they are quite skittish. This is one of them Fiameas or Fiamas. Again, harmless. You tend to get loads of saddles to them. There are a couple of beacons that drop around here as well. I probably have tamed one of these. I don't really know what I'd use them for. But as I say, good little island, good little spot for a base. As I say, get yourself one of them, one of these, what do you call it, Cinematrop, Cinematrop Google doodahs. Get yourself one of them. What have I done here? It's really going to that. For some reason I can't go into third person. I must have to activate it somewhere along the line in the server. But anyway, yeah, get yourself one of these guys. Really helpful, as I say, for a bit of protection against bugs, and more than anything, that will flying benefit. I think it's a great little advantage to have when you're doing your exploring, and also to get you out of sort of any tight spots and pickles that you might find yourself in. And then, as I say, on top of that, you've got your iron ore, your metal and doodah. So that's about that, mate.